The video you're about to watch may present some subject matter that might seem controversial. It is open for other interpretations, and thereby you, the viewer, are urged to follow up on your own research to prove for yourself what is real. The challenge is to look past your own perspectives at the bigger picture of reality from the perspectives of others. That sounds alright, right? Oh, hey, it's me! I don't really talk this way.
Okay, buckle up your seatbelts, stabilize your popcorn, and prepare for the ride of your life, right? And you're ready to be amazed. Or not. Ta-da! I'm just kidding. Love y'all.
First question. Why is this symbol used to denote love?
If you could look back over the halls of your life, analytically speaking, of course, how many doors would you say you've gone through? How many doors have you simply passed by? And how many doors have you closed behind? In this video, I'd like to take you on a short journey, looking at doors not just merely as openings, but as opportunities, and perhaps even as poetic metaphors for so much more. An adventure of the mind, if you will, where a paradox is more than just two piers on a bank. Let me clarify that for a second. Not peers like a jury of your peers, people of like mind or equals, but rather piers where you tie a boat or even fish off the end of. And bank as on the edge of a river, not the building people put their money in. Of course, if you look like this, then these might be a couple of your peers. And if you look like this, these could be your peers. Of course, it would be feasible to find them on a bank. Anyway, two is a pair, the set, not the fruit, and the piers are docks, therefore a pair of docks. I said paradox originally, which is a seemingly contradictory or absurd statement that expresses a possible truth, a self-contradictory and false proposition, a person, thing, or situation exhibiting an apparently contradictory nature, an opinion or statement contrary to commonly accepted opinion. Did you get that one? An opinion or statement contrary to the commonly accepted opinion. Wow, my whole YouTube channel is a paradox. Since I had mentioned pier, it might be interesting to note that besides being a place to land a ship, that another definition is a portion of wall between doors, windows, etc. Also a pillar or post on which a gate or door is hung. So, since pier also means to look or peek, then it would be proper to say, let us peer along with our peers between the piers, no, not these piers, but rather these piers, past the piers upon which the door hangs. In other words, let us look at some doors. Now, as we set off on this journey, you may already be asking, what is the point? A little early for such a question, but nonetheless someone will ask. So I'll make it simple for those with little imagination and even less comprehension. Hey, it's YouTube, and I got some free time. Remember, sometimes you get what you pay for, and since YouTube is free, don't expect much. But nonetheless, points, whether made or missed, are much like beauty, as it is in the eyes of the beholder. In simpler terms, what one perceives as an epiphany, another merely deems as foolishness, and vice versa, giving credence to the old saying, one man's junk is another man's treasure. So, as always, take what you can use and disregard the rest. However, remember, if the shoe fits, then wear it, and don't complain about the color, keeping in mind that under different circumstances, you could very well be barefoot. It has been said that with every door that closes, another one opens up. That is perhaps great for optimistic analogies, however, it is simply not a true statement. There are some doors that open to dead ends, and thus one must go back through the same door to exit. In a metaphoric way, there are some doors that once closed cannot be reopened. For example, missed opportunities, such as a job offer, or even a termination. A relationship that has ended badly, and perhaps even an accident or loss of life that can't be undone. These are doors that once closed become locked, as it were, and leaves one to hope for another opportunity and thereby search for another door. The wonder of doors is that they are openings to somewhere else, or to something else, the entrance to where you are not, and the exit from where you are. I wanted to begin this journey with a simple riddle concerning doors, as well as truth and deception. You are faced with two basically identical doors. However, one door leads to death and destruction, while the other leads to peace and safety. The problem is you don't know which one is which. Now, above the doors are two men, seemingly identical as well, but one man is honest and the other is a liar. Again, you do not know which is which. Now you are allowed to ask one question in order to determine which door to choose. Both men will answer that one question, bearing in mind that the honest man will always tell the truth, while the liar will always tell a lie. For example, which of you is the honest man?
I am.
Which of you is the liar?
He's the liar.
Which door is the door to death and destruction?
This one.
You see how it works? So what one question could you ask to know the door to safety? We'll try to come back to this later, but for now let's take a look at some other doors. When considering the concept of truth and deception, we find that our entire life is faced with this very dilemma. We are constantly making decisions based upon our observations, and sometimes even make our choices blindly on what we call our gut instincts. It always helps to have a little light on the subject, of course, so that we feel our choices are the right ones, rather than just making whimsical guesses in life-altering situations, leading us deeper into the abyss of disaster, as it were, one bad decision after another. So in reality, it pays to look behind different doors, sometimes to gain another perspective or to broaden your knowledge of a particular subject. It all really just depends on which doors you open, as to the direction you will go. I had warned in the beginning that some of this video may seem controversial. Subjects that present different opinions or points of view do just that. I thought it would be good here to introduce one such subject briefly before moving on. Cup of noodles. You know, the soup? Well, cup noodles. It's not cup-o noodles, it's just cup noodles. Many people believe and seem to remember it being called cup-o noodles, even though current history records that it has always been cup noodles, without the O. And the majority of people simply say that these of us remembering it with being cup-o noodles are simply just misremembering, confabulation. That's a bit ironic that a commercial from the 70s actually shows the residue of what many remember. Cup noodles, or cup-o noodles. Take a look at this and we'll move on.
When you're on your way up, you can't always take a lot of time out for lunch. So I always keep a cup of noodles handy. All you do is add hot water and hang around for about 3 minutes. And you got it. A meal in a cup. Comes in 3 great flavors, too. Beef, shrimp, and chicken.
So while I prepare to enjoy my cup O, always going to be cup O noodles for me, right? Yeah. Anyway, so while I prepare to go and enjoy my noodles, you enjoy the rest of the video, if you can hang with it. So doors open to a lot of places.
And, well, nice room. It's our anniversary. So we thought we'd bring you into another door. Limited, of course. Her leg's better.
Yeah.
So hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube world.
This is
Yeah.
nice.
These are the kind of doors you want to go into, places like this.
This is a nice room. We get a view, a couple of televisions. Yeah. Okay. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Yep. We'll brought my laptop and stuff so we can take care of some things there and finish up. We were talking about doors. Doors are to good places and doors are to bad places. There's always something about a door in there. Alright, well anyway y'all, just wanted to bring you along on our journey and we'll see where we go from here.
Here's the elevator doors.
Due to time restraints and unfortunately programmed attention deficits, we will have to be brief if we hope to open many doors at all in this presentation. Since there are as many hypothetical doors of knowledge as there are stars in the heavens, we will simply just take a few minutes to peek behind some in passing.
For those who have been studying what's happening in the world, that we are now located at a very, very dangerous moment in history.
Well, I think that, this is a culture of fear, and nobody's more afraid than people in Hollywood. They're afraid that they'll drop out of the top, they're afraid that they'll drop from the bottom of the pyramid, maybe to the middle.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us? Not much, because it's a secret.
This culture of racism and sexism and classism and genderism and all of it in place. They continually feed it, and they make a lot of money doing it. And they do it at the behest of
these people
their
control the
masters
money.
who run
So they make all the
everything.
rules. You understand? And they put whatever rules they want into effect. And the truth is, America has really become a socialist, communistic country. And everybody says it's a capitalistic country. It's not a capitalistic country.
What does that mean for America?
How could it be capitalistic when you have a central bank?
The doors we do open, no matter how brief, represent topics that could lead one down deeper corridors of understanding into a maze of lifetime studies on any particular subject. One such door as this concerns a subject and symbol that most of the world is aware of, though they may not even know why. The symbol of the eye in the pyramid. I had shown this symbol earlier when discussing piers. So let's open a door and take a deeper look into this symbol and why it is so widespread. Many will not like the truth behind this door, so we'll run through as fast as we can. It has been called the all-seeing eye, the eye of God, the eye of Horus, which is where it originates, but its modern title is the eye of Providence. It is supposedly a symbol of illumination, linking it to Horus, the sun god, who was worshipped originally in Egypt, mainly because the sun brought life and light to the world. Again, we are going to run through this quickly, just hitting the highlights. The symbol has become synonymous with the Illuminati, as they see themselves as being enlightened or illuminated to the hidden truths of our world. It is also an important symbol in Freemasonry and other secret societies, as the capstone that rules the top. Even the MI5 British intelligence uses the symbol with the eye at the top. Because it has been on the #1 US dollar with the Latin words Novus Ordo Seclorum, which means New Order of the Ages or Order of the World, or basically New World Order, many people have come to recognize the significance of the symbol as a mark or a stamp of allegiance to the one world government domination, with Horus or Lucifer as the awaited ruler of the world. As we see this symbol everywhere in mass media, from Madonna and Katy Perry to Chris Brown at the BET Awards, it is easy to understand the subliminal brainwashing that is actually taking place. From old comic books to modern-day cartoons, children are continuously bombarded and conditioned to accept the system that is being set up. Even Aleister Crowley, a self-proclaimed Antichrist and practicing Satanist, paid homage to this symbol in his magic. So, if everyone relates this symbol to evil or the Illuminati, and without doubt to the New World Order, then a couple of questions need to be addressed. First, who really is at the top of this global agenda, the New World Order?
A new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order. A new world order.
There's a need for a new world order.
Create a new world order.
A new world order?
A new world order.
To build a new world order.
A new world order.
Did a new world order.
And second question, why is this symbol so blatant in the following locations? Above the Pope, in St. Peter's Basilica, the Vatican, above a Catholic statue of Mary, behind a Catholic priest, even on a priest's hat. A Catholic church in Poland, quite blatant really. The Catholic George Church in Ukraine. Atop an obelisk in Russia, inside a Russian Orthodox church, a church in Paris, Catholic Church in Rome. In fact, it continues to show up in Catholic churches and cathedrals and places of worship time after time all over the world. Even in Philadelphia, Ohio, at St. Mary's Catholic Church, on the stained glass windows. It shows up on stained glass a lot of places where the sun literally illuminates the colors. San Miguel in California, St. Leodegar in Switzerland, Church of Santissima in Naples, Magdalene Cathedral in Venice, Cathedral Brugg in Germany, the Holy Trinity Church in Basilian Gate, Cathedral in Manila, Church in Mexico. And this one I find interesting, St. Dionysius Baroque Altar in North Rhine-Westphalia, the Jesuit seal, then up to the wheaten tares, and then up to the crucifix, and then above that, the Eye of Providence, dead center of this gold-ornate, almost trophy-like altar fixed between its Masonic-style pillars on each side. The places it shows up are too numerable to even begin to cover. It's even on fancy doorknobs to secret rooms. And we're not even talking about the one-eye symbolism, hidden everywhere, like the Vatican Museum courtyard. We're just looking at the Iron Pyramid, like this symbol on a Russian coin, later used on the banners of the Turkish princes and then adopted by the Knights of the Crusades. Why is this Illuminati, Freemason, New World Order, Eye of Horus so prevalent with the Vatican? Which leads us back to the first question. Who really is the driving force behind this one world agenda? It is true this Pope has been meeting with a lot of people in power, giving advice and calling for global governance, as well as for all religions to unite under one umbrella, as it were. But the meetings of all the heads is really behind a different door altogether. So let's find the exit here and move on. A breath of fresh air. Or is it? Remember what we had said earlier about truth and deception? Though many things are offered to us as truth, the underlying reality may actually be far from it. We as a society have been programmed and controlled for a long time now. Do you remember this door?
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
The original Twilight Zone anthology first aired on television on CBS on October 2nd, 1959. It was supposedly created and hosted by Rod Serling, though many seem to recall his name as Rod Sterling, with a T. Some have made remarks like Sterling Silver is how they remembered. The show ended on June 19, 1964, after 5 seasons and 156 episodes. I mention this for 2 reasons. One, the programming it introduced to the masses had a lot to do with otherworldly dimensions, supernatural phenomena, space travel, and the introduction to alien life in a various number of forms, and even time manipulation. And second, because it was aired by CBS. Yep, it's the big eye symbolism, and you thought we exited that door. Anyway, CBS, which stands for Columbia Broadcasting System. Now, where have we heard that before? Columbia. Oh, that's right, the U.S. government capital, D.C., the District of Columbia. You know, the one where the Committee of 100 back in 1874 called a grand inaugural mass meeting because the people were being robbed. The District of Columbia in 1959, when cars were cool and Kennedy had moved back to Georgetown in D.C., along with Jackie and their baby girl, you know, before he was president. Well, that year, 1959, Columbia Broadcasting System, which had already become a trusted network by the masses, started gearing people's mind for travel to the moon and beyond, all while the big eye was fed to the subconscious, conditioning the public to accept the programming with anticipation. That same year, CBS aired The Wizard of Oz in full Technicolor, and the audiences were glued. The rest is history, I guess, as CBS has stayed true to the big eye even to this day. And even though Twilight Zone ended in 1964, it still continues to entertain as well. One last note here. Since I mentioned cool cars in the 60s, I dug up this old photo from 1968 of a Ford dealership, Norris Ford, and check out the signs. No extra curly Q loop on the F. More residue of a past time.
Quick interjection. I understand on the southeastern side of the Potomac River from the capital was Virgin Territory. That's the name Virginia. So why do you think the capital is in a place called Maryland? So coming out here to stay and enjoy doors. That's the whole point. Everywhere you go, there's doors in life. Some lead to interesting things, and some lead to things that are not so interesting. And the thing I always liked about hotels is that numbers and stuff, all the doors are numbered. It's not that way in life necessarily. All the doors aren't necessarily numbered. Sometimes you just take what you get and see what happens, right? If every door was numbered, where you had all of the things laid out for you, if you knew what was behind every door. For instance, just in this particular hall, on this particular floor, there are people sleeping, people watching movies, or people discussing, people resting from different trips, and from all over the world, people just stopping in, right? That's just life. That's the way it is in reality. Everywhere we go, every door that we face, whether it's elevator doors to take us to a higher floor or a lower existence. The thing is that because we don't know what's on the other side of those doors, well, sometimes you take a chance. And that's the whole point about life. Every day that you get up, you should count your blessings that you have breath, if the heart's beating within, because you're not guaranteed the breath. And that's the real amazing thing about life in itself. So a door, in an analogy, could be compared to just life choices, those kinds of things. And I want to say thank you for hanging out with me on this little adventure. I've enjoyed spending the time with you. I'm actually coming up, not just on the wedding anniversary here, but this is my 7-year anniversary with YouTube. And I'm probably not going to be doing a whole lot more of these videos. Maybe one more that I've got in mind. We'll see how that goes, Lord willing, and I have breath. I just wanted to take you on a little adventure to look into some of the doors of life that we come in contact with. So, with that, I'll say thanks for hanging out. This is Photo Helix. I'm out. Open some doors.
Oh yeah, the riddle. Simply ask, wait a minute, what's the sense in the riddle if I tell you the answer? Okay, stop here if you don't want the answer. Now, the answer. You simply ask the two men. Between the two of you, what would the other man say is the door to freedom? Remember, the liar will always lie, and the honest man will always tell the truth.